What's up, everybody? This is Supreme King, finally back with another video. Please bear with me. My schedule is just all over the place. I'm trying to get more content out, and I think this is important enough for me to try to set some time away to talk about. And I might not even do a lot of edits here. I might just simply just throw this up because I really don't have that much time. But I wanted to talk about the Xbox situation that the world has been in chaos with for what looks to be about 3 or 4 weeks. And honestly, for me, it feels like a few years because we're kind of doing the same thing over and over again with Xbox that I just wanted to address because I think there's this weird, unhealthy obsession with attempting to play Xbox games everywhere except Xbox. And I'm more of a problem solving individual. I like to solve problems, and I keep thinking that this is the easiest solve you can have, because all you simply have to do is buy one of two platforms. You can either buy a Series X or a Series S on the console side, or you can go with a conventional PC. Something better than what I have, because this potato is not actually helping me get out videos as quickly as I would want to. And that's another thing that I'm gonna get to later on in this video. But what I've been seeing lately is just this back and forth and quite literally just chaotic scene on the internet regarding how you play an Xbox game, where you play an Xbox game. And like I already said, it seems like everybody is trying to do every little thing they can to play this everywhere else except for just simply playing on an Xbox. And it's starting to get a little unhealthy. I've seen way too many rumors go way out of hand. And I guess with this past business update that Xbox and Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, and the other lady that I don't really know her name, unfortunately, they did their little 20-something minute thing where they explained a couple things. I appreciate some of the stuff that they said, but I can admit for myself, not having the 4 titles being named specifically is pretty much going to put the internet back in the chaotic loop where they're going to sit there and try to figure out what they are. They've already simply named a couple of them just from speculating, just from trying to use some common sense, I guess. But we're still doing this unhealthy loop, you know what I'm saying? Because we're still sitting here trying to figure out, well, what is the game and how would I be able to play it? When will I be able to play it? Instead of just simply playing it now, if you really care that much, you know what I'm saying? I feel like with the Xbox platform, I can admit there were some times where the messaging just seems a little off. Where even me myself, I questioned a couple things because I didn't necessarily believe like they were going to throw the whole platform away like a lot of other people did. I almost have to question some of these guys that run some of these channels that are like very, very focused on the Xbox side, because some of you guys just really jumped out the window. And it's hard to get your reputation back when you basically moonwalked that hard and now you want to kind of turn back around. People selling their systems and doing all this other stuff, it's just like, guys, just wait a minute and see what some of these people have to say. This is kind of how a lot of people don't really know how business works. They just look at things from a fanboy's perspective, and a lot of these rumors were like that. It was just basically, here's a fanboy's perspective on something instead of just looking at what the facts were so far. And then also what makes the most sense if you are a really large company running a variety of big platforms with a lot of software, right? That's what Xbox is. And of course, with that, they're probably going to keep certain games on certain platforms that were already there to begin with. Minecraft is probably one of the biggest ones where it almost seems like nobody questions Minecraft at all. It's just running on its own accord, basically. Elder Scrolls Online might be another one where it's just kind of just doing its own thing. But with Microsoft, we're sitting here with like this idea of 4 games probably being multi-plat, And two of the games that I see that people are like speculating is going to be Grounded and Sea of Thieves. And when I look at that, is what I'm pretty much seeing is just that, well, you're looking at a last gen title and you're being excited to play this on the PlayStation 5, and that kind of doesn't excite me. If I'm a PlayStation 5 player, I would like to play something brand new, day and date, on my platform, as a PlayStation 5 player. I wouldn't want to play a Xbox One game on PlayStation 5. So I don't know what's happening on the internet side. It's just kind of all over the place and it's chaotic. But the one thing that just keeps coming back to me is we're in this situation where we did this with Bethesda, we did this with Activision, even with Starfield itself specifically, as well as I guess now Indiana Jones. It's just like, guys, like, it can't be that hard to buy a Xbox or a PC at this point. I mean, if the thing is money, I mean, the Xbox, we're looking at one of those systems being like in the $200 range when it's on sale. Like I don't understand how we're doing this as like grown men, to be honest with you. But on the alternative, if they did go full third party, I would have been one of the people who were upset, because I remember saying to myself, I wouldn't like my time or resources wasted. And on top of that, what I'm going to get to at the like second part of this video is I don't want my intelligence insulted either. And I don't really feel like Xbox has really done that at all. And I'm not really too worried about the money I've spent on the hardware as much either, because at the very least they have the smart delivery and they have your content in mind, where they're going to preserve what you have, and then at the same time you could play Game Pass, for example, on both Xbox and PC, and you don't have to worry about like it's a seamless transition, you know what I mean? You're not really worried about being in a situation where you have to buy a game more than once, or you're worried about like save data, for example. And these are some of the things that you do have to worry about on the PlayStation side, and I'll get to that in a second. But as far as the platform, they still have a lot of work to do as far as like their messaging overall, because it should not have been that like cut and dry to a lot of people that they were like not even going to be in the console space, because that's what a lot of people were thinking. And we were coming off the heels of the Xbox Direct, or their developer direct that they had, where they quite literally told you like, this is where Indiana Jones is going to be. And at the same time, Starfield was already out. It was where it was already going to be, Xbox and PC. But that developer direct basically went through one ear and out the other, and a lot of people were basically just saying, no, it's going to be on PlayStation. I'll wait for it on PlayStation. We're just doing the same the loop is just going on and on and on, because we did this with Elder Scrolls 6 at one point before we even got details on the ZeniMax deal. And then once they had the ZeniMax deal done, that kind of stopped. But some of these things are still just keep coming up. The Call of Duty thing was a thing that went way too long. But with that situation, obviously they have all these court stuff going on, and it's still kind of going on, even though they're technically acquired. But I guess the news that we got out of that was that the Diablo 4 game was going to go on Game Pass March 28th, which is fine. And I guess more and more games will go there like later on. But the thing that I'm getting at when it comes to console gaming in general, there's a lot of this waiting that we're doing. It's all about the wait. You got to keep waiting. You got to keep waiting. And you might get a new game here and there, but then it's back to waiting. And we're in a position where both on Xbox and PlayStation 5, we are more concerned with games that already came out versus the new games. And I think with PlayStation 5 in particular, because I can go with this already, like I don't want to play an Xbox game from Xbox One on PS5. And then more importantly, I don't want to keep playing PS4 games on PS5 and being told that it's new. You know, it's a director's cut, it's a remaster or something. That's where I feel like on PlayStation side, you're basically insulting my intelligence, and I don't really want to be negative about it too much. This is kind of a video that I wanted to talk about for a while, but I just didn't want to be so negative about it. But seeing that everybody's been negative about this, and I think we're more open to this conversation now, and it won't seem like it's just too hard of a conversation to have. But as somebody who owns a PS5, I don't like the idea that more games from the PS4 is on the PS5 than actual PS5 games. And that's where I'm just like, I'm at with PlayStation, and it's a little bit upsetting for me because we'll have, like, I guess The Last of Us Part 2 come out as a remaster, and it was like the first game to come out for this year for PlayStation. And we finally got like Helldivers for a lot of people who like Helldivers, but that was literally the game to start this year. And we're also getting this news that the first party now after Helldivers, you're not going to see anything until like April 2025. And what I don't like about that is like, that's, you know, that's a little over a year from now. You know, and it's kind of unacceptable because it took them about a year just to get Spider-Man 2 out the door. And a lot of people, you know, chose to ignore the type of state that it was in when it first launched. And I didn't like that either. For a game to take that long, and then everything in between seems to be coming from other developers, whether it's Square Enix or I guess possibly Xbox now, right? And that's just not acceptable to me, this generation overall. I don't think that that's acceptable. I think a lot of things was really, really great in the PS4 generation, but it looks like it's just really starting to get dumped on his head in the PS5 generation. I assume that April 2025's game is probably Wolverine. I've already bought the PS5 and the Series X, like, obviously, so any game that I want to play right away that is going to be on one of the systems, I will play. Wolverine might be one of them, you know, but largely other than that, I think I'm probably going to stick with PC overall for like third party and maybe some of these first party games, because apparently we're hearing, you know, from the PlayStation CEO, that the new one, that they want to aggressively bring games day and date to PC. We saw something like that with Helldivers. It definitely helped Helldivers because it was like 60 or 70% of the player base was PC players. And I guess the dude looked at that and said, you know what, let's just go all in. So I would imagine in April, Wolverine might be the game, but you might end up just going ahead and seeing that on both PlayStation and PC day and date. And I wouldn't be surprised if it actually went to another platform as well, like Xbox, because I think this third party thing is starting to catch on. And the reason is because the first party players are not buying the games. 100 plus million PS4s, 50 plus million PS5s, and the first party titles aren't moving like that. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is, and that's what they're doing. I'm just saying for myself, I don't want my intelligence to be insulted by you telling me to play a bunch of PS4 games on PS5 and pretend that they're new. It's just not, it's not making sense to me. That's a big reason why I'm probably going to go with PC overall. Because I'm a little disappointed in the console space, honestly, and it's more on PlayStation than it is on Xbox. I kind of been feeling like that for a while, but I just didn't want to make it like a negative type video. But I guess that's how this sounds, and this really went way too long, and I'm going to cut a lot of sections out because this is kind of way too long. So I'll wrap it up here. I am going to talk more in detail with it with my co-host on my podcast tonight. It will go out probably tomorrow. And so we'll be more detailed with what happened with Xbox and their business update and what that means for any player that's interested in playing a Xbox game, I guess. A lot of people's reputation is being questioned right now because everybody jumped out the window. And don't let that be you. Hear it from the source and make your purchase accordingly. But that's all I got for you here. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.